So welcome everyone. Very happy to have you all join us. We'll go ahead and get started. My name is Jannah, and I'm the Development and Partnership Manager at SchoolTalk. I'm really excited to be here with you today as we talk about our 2022 annual report covering the 2021 to 2022 school year, as well as the end of the year 2022. And we focus on that time frame just because of the data when that's available here at SchoolTalk, so we can release that and give you an update on how the past year has gone. So as schools reopened last year, returning to the pre-pandemic operating model was not feasible. Both students and teachers had to adapt to a new way of engaging. Many students were not ready to learn, and students and staff members were grappling with personal trauma and finding it difficult to re-engage. Students of color and students with disabilities experienced a disproportionate burden from the effects of the pandemic. And we are excited to present this annual report, which highlights the remarkable progress that education communities have made in the recovery from the pandemic and sheds light on the pressing needs they still face. And as we go along, feel free to drop any questions you have into the Q&A. Yeah. All right, so our agenda for today, we'll have our welcome and overview. I'll go over our model and our work briefly. I'll share some data, and then we have some guest speakers. We have our wonderful youth participant, Tion Logan, and his mother, Miss Pam Logan, joining us in a little while. And then we'll have some time to answer some questions. I'll talk briefly about what we're working on and share how you can get involved. So SchoolTalk launched in 2008, and our mission is to tackle the critical and complex problems that impact marginalized youth and the schools and systems that support them, so that we can work towards school communities where every youth is honored and self-determined. We work toward that vision by tackling issues at the student, school, and systems level to bring about change. Our recently refreshed strategic plan for the years 2023 till 2025 outlines how we're working to do that in this new landscape. And you can find our strategic plan on our website under the general tab. And I'll try to drop that in the chat too before we end here. We have also identified goals at each of these three levels, both the student, school, and systems level, that I'm going to review with you briefly. So at the student level, our goal is to improve youth outcomes through programming that supports students to feel like they belong, are self-determined, and hopeful about their futures. To this end, we provide workshops, community and work-based learning experiences to students, as well as preparing them for and providing them opportunities to participate in youth conferences and councils so that students in DC feel they belong, are self-determined, and hopeful about their futures. At the school level, our goal is to equip schools with the mindsets, tools, and processes to better support every marginalized student, including students with disabilities. And on this level, we're working to achieve this goal by providing technical assistance for organizational change, training, modeling, and coaching, and providing resources to improve schools' cultures through inclusive and restorative practices. So SchoolTalk has two different initiatives, the Inclusive DC and the Restorative DC initiatives. And then at the systems level, our goal is to engage as an active thought leader and share learning and insight, codify models and recommendations, and convene disparate actors to build relationships, problem solve, and find ways to collaborate for systems change. And on this level, we're acting as a thought leader and convener to drive change in DC and beyond as nationally recognized experts in improving education for marginalized students. And so I'm going to share with you a bit of data. So And during the 2021-2022 school year, we reached 223 students, clap for us, including Tian, with this direct school talk programming. We worked in schools both in DC and Chicago, overall with a number of 75 schools where we provided programming. We collaborated with over 28 organizations through our inclusive DC secondary transition community of practice and our restorative justice community of practice. And this includes organizations like Best Buddies International, Children's Law Center, Empower DC, Youth Justice Inc., Every Student Everyday Coalition, Empower K-12, PAVE, which is Parents Amplifying Voices in Education, Black Swan, DC Girls Coalition, Guerrilla Arts, and many, many more. And then we provided over 7,000 hours of programming to students and provided professional development and training and coaching to over 1,200 organizational and school staff. So I will stop there for now, and I will get into our panel and welcome our panelists. Today we have Tian Logan, who is our youth participant. He's been in our programming since, I want to say 2021. And we have his mother, Miss Pam Logan, here to talk a little bit about their experience with SchoolTalk programming. So welcome. You guys can come off mute. And if there's anything you want to say, introduce yourself, say hi to the people, feel free to.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having us here today.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure being here for today.
It is our pleasure. So I'm going to start with a question for you, Ms. Logan. And my question is, how has work-based learning impacted Tian's growth, independence, and future employment prospects?
The work-based learning has prepared Tian for something that is his passion, which is photography. So through SchoolTalk, Sarah and the team invited Tian out. Not invited, got a gig for him to work down Department of Disability. And Tian actually did an awesome job that they asked Tian to come back. So that was a good thing. But at the end, like I said, he took his shots for the big bosses and stuff like that. So it was like a lot of experience for Tian. At the end, let me say, it's just like that's what he wanted to do. He got help, and it just made him like more confident in his skills. Elijah taught him, Sarah taught him. He had a little bit already, like experience from his brother, but not really that much. So once Sarah shows him, it really helped Tian a lot. And I feel like that's one thing, he would do with that. That's something, he really probably take that and how you call it? It's just like I'm sorry, because I got other things on my mind. But yeah, Tian would take that and that's just something he would do in the near future. That's what he want to do because he want to become a photographer. But yeah, I don't know. I used to worry about his future and stuff like that. And then he decided, okay, I want to be a photographer, this, that, whatever. And SchoolTalk, like I said, they really truly help my son. And along with other things he did with the Voices of the Change and stuff like that. He just got a chance to do so much. And then the Jumpstart summer program. I mean, it was just like Tion going doing things that he never did before. So both school, well, not both, but School Talk, um, Jumpstart, yeah, it did a lot for my son. It really did. It really did. And sometimes, it's just like I'm very like proud of him and confident that, his abilities, I'm not worried like I was before. So
Mm.
once he was introduced to this program, I saw the growth in, a lot of things that I never thought my son could do. You all did a lot for him. And now I'm like, no, it's like I'm not worrying. He's grown up now, and this might not be the exact question you asked me, but
No,
I'm going through something as
it's
well, and I didn't
perfect.
really want to say that. Yeah, I'm going through
Yeah,
something
yeah.
too. So, yeah. But yeah, he's determined and capable of doing a lot of things. And due to School Talk and Chelsea and of course Sarah, Tion is really like, I'm not worried like I used to be. Tion is really like advanced in his skills and everything. So yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to end it there because I apologize,
No, that was good. Thank you for sharing. We're also really proud of Tion and his work. So Tion, my next question is for you. My first question is, similarly, how has work-based learning experiences? I know you've been involved in Jumpstart, the workshops, multiple like programming with School Talk. How have those experiences boosted your confidence in both personal and professional situations?
Okay, well, I mean, I already had like a bit. I already had some confidence in my future, but I had to make sure I had to know how photography works and how to really use a camera. So that's when Miss Sarah came in and with Elijah and Aisha and everything, and they gave me the opportunity to work with them and take pictures, take pictures with for the events and and headshots and stuff like that. And and then Elijah had to teach me to use the camera. And when I used it, well, when I learned how to use it, I knew I was doing and I and how can I say this? I knew not to mess up. So I can say it like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I know I've seen some of the pictures, and I think you told me there was someone whose headshot you had taken DDS, and then like you saw them like a couple of months ago, and they were just saying how well the pictures came out, and
I did.
yeah, yeah, that's awesome. It says a lot about your work. So one more question for you, Ms. Logan. So how can schools, educators, and businesses collaborate with parents to enhance work-based learning for youth with disabilities? How can these schools and businesses work better with parents so that they improve work-based learning opportunities for youth with disabilities?
Um, well, I feel that given in the school system, like giving them more like hours or not in the school setting, but outside, but still dealing with internships and stuff like that, giving the students more hours and more transportation assistance, because the fact of working, like if you're living in one neighborhood and your school's in, another, and the job is like closer, like as far as, it's just like I said, transportation. I think if they provide more transportation for these students, and like I said, extending the hours, that's the school setting. Now, once it comes to the job setting, um, I believe like they should assign someone to these children that have special needs, special accommodations, always there to be there just in case, like just say if they work at McDonald's and something didn't go right, they can have somebody right there with them to assist them and support them.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. That was great. So I have just one more question for you, Tion. And that is just kind of like adding on to what your mother was saying, thinking about the support that you received while you were in Jumpstart and doing your work-based learning experiences. What support do you think was the most valuable? What was the most helpful out of all the support you received?
Well, what I can say is Miss Sarah has always really supported me,
Mhm.
and she will always as we come to events, and I will always help her, and I will always go, and she would pay me for the event I helped her with, and that's the nicest way, and that's the nicest way I can think of. And she and she always helped me out with transportation, get me over there and make sure I might get home safe. And she's the MVP, and she's like a best friend I never had. So I'm just glad I got into this program and got this opportunity to do it. And she always helped me and my mom, and always respected her wishes as well. So that's just something I can never take away from. So
Mm,
Miss Sarah, if you're actually here right now, I thank you.
Yes,
she
me
is.
too. I love Sarah so much. I mean, it's like she's my sister. I know that was his question, but that's what I wanted to also say too. I thank them so much. Um, Sarah, Chelsea, I mean, even Miss Sewell. Because if it weren't for Miss Sewell, I wouldn't know them.
Mm,
And Sarah always saw, and Chelsea always saw things my way. Like when I'm like, I don't know, I don't want Tiana to get on the bus, and Sarah made sure that I was satisfied, I was happy. Elijah, um, the other young lady, I'm forgetting her name. What's her name?
Aisha.
Aisha.
Naisha, yeah, Naisha. They would come and get Tiana, whatever. She made sure that I was comfortable and satisfied. And that's another thing with Jumpstart, they always, I mean, SchoolTalk, they always made sure, that as a parent, I didn't sit back and worry,
Mm,
yeah, they the best. They are the best to
thank
me,
you. I see them at
and I
saying
thank God for them. I
Sarah put
really
into
do.
Sarah put into the chat that she loves y'all so much. So the feeling is
Oh,
reciprocated. So
thank
thank
you so
you guys.
much.
Thank you both for being here. I'm gonna see if anyone who's in the call right now has any questions. I think we got about like a minute, so maybe one or
Okay.
two questions if anyone has for you both. And I just
And
enabled.
thank you for having us. I'm sorry. Thanks.
No, it's fine. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. If anyone has any questions, please drop them in. I see a lot of awesome coming in. 3 cheers. Love y'all. Great, great.
Let me see.
Awesome.
Hold on.
All right. Amazing accolades. Great. Okay, yeah, we can. So the chat is active now. So if you wanted to look at our chat, our annual report, you can check that out. Great work to the team. And oh, what a beautiful message from Chelsea for you, Miss Logan. All right. Well, thank you both for being here. You can stay on for the next 5 minutes. I'm just going to go over some very last things around like what's next with SchoolTalk. If any other questions pop up, I'll read them. But let me go ahead and share my screen again. You guys can stay on 1 second. Are you seeing the? Hold on 1 second. All right, so we went through our questions and answers. Next, I wanted to go over something that we're working on. So right now, SchoolTalk is launching a media and art studio in September at the Guerrilla Arts on Brooklyn Arts Walk in partnership with Ashru from Guerrilla Arts, Conscience the MC, and Will Starks from Lyarks Films. Students with disabilities and their peers will be able to learn about and prepare for creative careers in photography, DJ, videography, visual art, dance. The program will focus on youth self-expression and the creative process, and youth will be able to learn marketing technical skills in videography, photography, graphic design, visual art, and music production. So this is similar to the workshop that Tian was talking about that took place in school, that we're collaborating with Guerrilla Arts to have a community studio that youth can drop in, get hours, really get hands-on experience with quality state-of-the-art equipment. So we're really, really excited about this. If you're following along with our social media, you might have seen that we started a GoFundMe to kind of raise some funds for just some of the equipment that we want to be able to provide for these youth permanently. So out of school time, and like evenings and weekends. And if you're not following us on social media, here are the links. You can use a QR code to get to our social media. You can also look at any of these are our handles on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And you can use the QR code to sign up for our newsletter. Our monthly newsletters are here about any updates that we have concerning our programming. And then lastly, if you're interested in getting involved and supporting more work like this, you can join our community of monthly donors who support us as we continue to serve DC students in schools. So I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who joined in on this call. And thank you so much to our panelists, Tian and Mrs. Pam Logan. Thank you so much for joining. And just a round of applause for you both.